Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX India A-List, our special show. Yes, in our endeavour to bring forth the stories of some of India's finest and brightest, today we put together yet another unmissable lineup of India's who's who in our new episode. Our first guests for the day are actor Vicky Kaushal and filmmaker Shoojit Sircar. Vicky is starring in Sardar Udham, which has been directed by Shoojit. It's a film that has received rave reviews from critics and audiences alike. Take a look.
Best known for their Bollywood performances.
Everybody, I think, attached in making this film, we were in sync with why this story is important.
Their film Sardar Udham received rave reviews.
When the film got over, most of the people were not able to talk and they felt a little numb.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Vicky Kaushal and Shoojit Sircar for excellence in acting and filmmaking.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX A-List. We're in conversation with two trendsetters. Yes, two individuals who are being talked about a lot and for all the right reasons, might I add. We're talking about Vicky Kaushal and Shoojit Sircar, who have, of course, just delivered a gem in Sardar Udham, which, of course, the nation has loved and enjoyed on Amazon Prime. Welcome, both of you, to NewsX. Welcome back, rather. Good to have you back, and congratulations on all the success.
Thank you, Uday.
Thank you so much, Uday.
Let me, begin with you, the captain of the ship, Shoojit Sircar. Did you expect this? Did you expect that, you would get so much love from people? It was a competitive time, even in the OTT space. There were, I think, 3 releases, out on Dussehra Day. So there was a lot for people to watch, but they chose your film and they celebrated it. Did you expect this, Shoojit Sircar?
I mean, there was, we knew that, the final climax of the film will evoke some kind of a reaction. But we didn't expect these many, praise messages and, praiseworthy, texts or whatever. So I think that was overwhelming, absolutely overwhelming.
Yeah. Vicky, what about you? This was, of course, very difficult portrayal, and I remember we spoke about the reasons why you did this film. For you, reassuring for your choices once again with the kind of love you've got and the kind of emotion also, more importantly, that you evoked amongst people, for Sardar Udham, for his life, for his journey, and for the reasons that he did what he did.
Everybody, I think, attached in making this film, we were in sync with why this story is important and why this story needs to be told. So we were always in sync with that. But yes, definitely when the audience, you see that the film has resonated in such a beautiful way with the audience and the film has connected with the audience, it does make you feel good. It does make you feel that your efforts have kind of landed well, where probably not many people knew who Sardar Udham Singh was or what his sacrifices were. Now people would be aware of it, they would discuss it, and this would probably lead to discussions about other such unsung heroes and other such unsung sacrifices of that time. So that, of course, is a big takeaway for us and a big victory for us.
True. As you said, as we spoke before the release, that perhaps people need to make more such films on unsung heroes so that we discover them. But what's been one compliment for you, Vicky, that stood out, about your performance, about your portrayal? 1 or 2 compliments, and do you know who they came from? Was it from a fan? Was it from someone in the industry? Was it a family member?
Actually, in the initial stages, it was something that I read for the first time, and that really kind of brought a smile in my heart rather than my face, was that when somebody had just appreciated that this could have been the best tribute to Irfan Saab, so that really made my heart smile. If anybody thought of that, so yeah, that was really special for me.
True. That's something, of course, that will really touch you. Shoojit Sircar, for you, something that stood out for you, and you remember who said it? A compliment, something about the performances, or something about your direction, your storytelling.
I think that when the film got over, most of the people were not able to talk, and they felt a little numb.
Mhm.
And for some time, they didn't want to talk to anyone and just be quiet. I think that, and everyone wrote to me, and also in some social media I read. So I think that's it's quite a deep impact on me also. It's just I also get little what you call emotional about that. When someone feels exactly what we feel. So that's, I think, the biggest compliment that I got.
Yeah. What for you, a two-part question, Vicky, and I'll ask that to Shrita as well. Was your most favorite scene of the film, and other people have watched it, we can maybe talk about that as well, because I didn't ask you that earlier. Your favorite scene, perhaps, that you wanted to perform after you read the script, and the most difficult one for you, perhaps emotionally or performance-wise.
Uh, for me, the most challenging one has to be the Jallianwala Bagh sequence. To recreate that and to kind of touch upon the innocence of the 20-year-old Udham Singh, who was probably going through that kind of an aftermath.
Mhm.
You as an actor can never be too prepared to know what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do, how you're gonna emote those sequences till you are thrown right in the middle of it. So that was for me the most challenging. The one scene that I was really looking forward to kind of shoot, I don't know if I can pinpoint that in the filming of Sardar Udham, but I guess uh, the jail portions that lead up to that sequence, that conversation between uh, Sardar Udham and Swain, that lead up to that sequence, that trajectory was, I was kind of like, that for me was the thread that was,
Yeah.
of the film. So shooting for those portions was kind of, I was telling me also the graph of the character. So those sequences in the film were special for me.
Okay. Same question for you, Shrita. Which was the most challenging, difficult, emotionally tough portion for you to shoot, and which was something that you were really looking forward, to shoot and to have the canvas in front of you after, of course, writing it and coming up with the ideation for it.
But first, let me tell you my two most favorite scenes. I mean, there are many, of course, but two.
I want to change my answer now. Yeah.
My two favorite scenes are, of course, one is when Bhagat Singh says, the lady asks him that, what will you do the day you get, the country gets, the country is free. And he says, I'm going to watch a Charlie Chaplin film, and, I'm going to buy a wine and I'm going to dance. And that he dances that Bhagat Singh. I think that was really a beautiful moment. Actually, there are three scenes which are very important. The second one is when actually Udham gets drunk and bursts out, with, I don't know what he spoke there, but he spoke his heart out with that another drunk guy in front, drunk and a beggar, whatever he was in front. And I think it was so beautiful. I think that culminates the entire film, actually.
Yeah.
That particular. And the third was very important, was when Vicky and Reshma Banita are sitting on this beautiful, small iron bridge, and she says, I'm not going to marry you. Then he says, why you will not marry me? To kya karegi? So I say, dost ban ke rahungi. So I thought it was quite progressive, for her to say like that,
Yeah.
So I think these three scenes were really beautiful scenes for me.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, painful.
Just quickly before you answer that second part, Vicky, which are of these three were you going to change?
Actually, on paper, I was also looking forward to the scene between Udham and Michael O'Dwyer when they actually get to chat about
that is
13th of April 1990.
Okay. Interestingly, Shrita didn't mention that as well. Okay, yeah, Shruti Sarkar, last part of my question. Yes.
So the most emotional scenes, of course, was Jallianwala Bagh. I mean, there is no second doubt about it. I mean, it was difficult to shoot. It was difficult to create. It was difficult because there were so many children involved, there were so many people involved, and also the 20-year-old Udham.
Yeah.
And to see the go and every evening and see that sight and that, I was thinking, when will this get over? Everybody in the crew was just thinking, just get over with it, because it was too much to take.
And that perhaps is one of the moments which is most well known about Sardar Udham's, of course, reason why he did what he did, and yet it was very difficult for all of us to watch it as well, I must tell you. But very well put, very well shot. I'm sure there are, of course, many more awards now which are also lined up for you. Of course, you've already got your rewards through the critics and the fans' appreciation, but I'm sure there are many more awards, and let's hope they do come for you, from national to, of course, film industry awards. But a bit disappointing for you, Shoojit Sircar, to just miss out very narrowly for the Oscar nomination, and kind of reasons we're hearing from the jury members as well. What was your first reaction when you heard of that? Because it's being talked about all over.
No, not at all. I mean, of course, I was, you're always hopeful that, your film gets selected. But when I heard finally the film that's got selected for the Oscars, I think it's absolutely a brilliant choice, and it's an absolutely right choice. I think it's really a very good film. And I'm really telling you, just mark my words, that there are many chances that this film may get our first Oscar.
Okay, let's hope for that. Let's certainly hope for that, and that's pretty sportsmanlike of you. But you are a sportsman, so one would have expected that answer. Okay, final question now to both of you. What's next? What are we looking forward to next, Vicky? What's next on your plate? What are you now looking forward to after this?
We are. I am on the pre-production stages for Sam Manekshaw, which we intend to start shooting towards the middle of next year.
Okay, so that's coming up next. Shoojit, is there something you're already? Have you decided what your next project will be?
No, I have not decided yet what's going to be my next project. I'm still contemplating at this moment what exactly.
Okay, well, let's hope in the success for now. And we, of course, do await what's next on your platter. But final question that I'm asking a lot of my guests on our shows these days. The IPL was, of course, recently on, and this time they introduced a new award called the Game Changer of the Match. Someone who changed the game of the match for his or her team. So for you both, when you look back at your career, which project or which performance, is there one or two that you believe changed the game for your career? Was a game-changing project for you, Vicky?
For me, I would say it was my first film. It started the game for me in the first place. So that I would say that it was my game changer. Masaan. It opened a lot of doors in the industry for me. And somewhere somewhere down the line, Masaan is the reason why I got Sardar Udham in the first place, which is a film I'll always be proud of. So I would say that film.
Okay, Shoojit Sircar?
My game changer was the day I landed up in Mumbai. So the complete game changed. So I mean, I am from Delhi, and the kind of family I belong to, and I'm a sports person. I never could think that I can be in Mumbai and direct a film.
Yeah.
So for me, that to direct a film, to land up in Mumbai, so my all battle was won that particular day when I landed up. So then rest was, of course, the technicalities and hardships and everything. Okay. But I think that was the day everything changed.
I think for both of us, entering the game was the game-changing moment.
Okay, well, let's hope you change the game with each project of yours, and that's something you are doing. I'll definitely say that out loud, and I know you guys will be modest, but we do believe that. And let's hope that you keep doing that with your path-breaking, cinema and films, of course, in the industry. Congrats once again on the success of this film, and always a pleasure speaking to you both. Thank you.
Thank you, Uday. Likewise.
Thank you, Uday. That's so nice of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next guest for the day is Director of House of Rohit, Avijit Singh Rohit. Having been recognized with some of the highest global awards the hospitality industry bestows, House of Rohit presents their exceptional bouquet of some of the world's best small boutique, charming luxury hotels and camps. Listen into this conversation with Avijit about House of Rohit, and much more.
Presenting charming luxury hotels and camps.
Everything that we've done repurposed for the hotel has been done in the old building. It's been a challenge to do so. It's not easy at all.
They have been recognized with some of the biggest global awards.
It was just part of life for me that I used to run around and play in a fully operational property with tourists from around the world.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Avijit Singh Rohit for excellence in business and hotel management.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're in conversation today with Avijit Singh Rohit. He's Director, House of Rohit. Welcome, Avijit, to NewsX. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on there. Such a pleasure to be here with you.
Let me, just begin by asking you to tell us a bit about the journey of House of Rohit. So, how was the brand founded? Just tell us about how the journey began and who founded the group.
So the journey of House of Rohit began as an experiment into hospitality by my grandparents and my parents. Way back in 1990 is when we started our first property, Rohitgarh. And it's been a journey since then. We converted our ancestral home, which is Rohitgarh, currently one of the first heritage hotels of the country, back in 1990 as an experiment. And from there, our journey kind of snowballed on. We have a small bouquet of 4 properties now, all offering experiential experiences to our travelers, a completely different take on what you would otherwise find in your regular city 5-star hotels. And that is what our USP is, offering a scratch beneath the surface, if you will, into Western Rajasthan.
Yeah, just tell us a bit about each property if you can, and what its
Absolutely.
speciality.
So our first property is Rohitgarh, which is a heritage hotel. This is our ancestral home. It's been my family home since 1622. So I'm the 15th generation of my family to be living here. And lots of history in these walls. And we've been very conscious not to change any of the old structures. So everything that we've done repurposed for the hotel has been done in the old building. It's been a challenge to do so. It's not easy at all, but it's been an experience. And today, Rohitgarh stands as a testament of what heritage hotels can become and what old buildings, what value they hold in today's India. Then our second property is Mihirgarh, which really is the jewel in our crown. It's a 9-suite only luxury boutique property, built on top of a sand dune, literally in the middle of nowhere, about 20 kilometers west of the village of Rohit, just towards the sunset. And you don't find population in the 2-kilometer radius. And over there, it really is an homage to the art and craft of rural Rajasthan. So we were very conscious when creating Mihirgarh to use only and only local artists, local craftsmen, and source everything that we put in the property only from in and around the city of Jodhpur. So it is a testament to the craft and craftsmanship of the area. Then our third property is a more rustic experience, which is our wilderness camp. The Rohit Wilderness Camp is again a small boutique camp, but a very rugged experience, again, very different from the kind of palatial royal feel of Rohitgarh and the uber luxury experience of Mihirgarh. The camp is entirely eco-friendly. All the floors and the walls are plastered with cow dung and clay and done by hand every year by local village women, entirely powered by solar. And it is a more kind of outdoor experience for those who like to be part of one with the wilderness and enjoy the birds in the morning and see wildlife outside their tents. And then our newest property is the Rohit House in Jodhpur, which we opened just pre-pandemic. And that is a kind of urban take on the art and craft of Rajasthan. It is a chic city villa, but kind of done up in a very traditional way, yet keeping with the times. So it's like a contemporary take on traditional Rajasthani art. And all the walls in the Rohit House are hand painted by local artists, and they've really created masterpieces on the walls. Like you can see on the wall behind me, this wall is also hand painted.
Yes, of course. Oh, wow. That's looking beautiful. So that's just a glimpse of the property for us. Okay. I have to ask you though about you. How did your love for hospitality begin? Did you always know that this was going to be the career that you wanted? Did you always know that you wanted to join the group? When did your love for hospitality begin, and when did you get involved?
Oh, my love for hospitality was in me before I knew it. Uh, I grew up in a hotel, which is not something that a lot of people can say. So Rohit Garh, as I said, it started out as a hotel in 1990. That was a year before I was born. So I only knew it as such. So home and hotel, they were kind of gray boundaries between the two, and it was just part of life for me that I used to run around and play in a fully operational property with tourists from around the world, travelers from around the world coming through our doors and meeting new interesting people every day, making conversation with them, making friends around the world ever since I was a child. So very thankful for such a childhood and such exposure early on.
Mhm.
And then my parents and I, we traveled a lot around the world when I was young. So I always knew I wanted to do something that made me meet new people all the time. And then, of course, at heart, I'm a big foodie and I like enjoy the finer things in life. So it was the sensible decision for me. So after school, I did my hospitality management from École Hôtelière de Lausanne in Switzerland. So I was there for a better part of 4 years.
Yeah.
And after that, I came back and after doing 3 internships, different parts of the world, I came back and joined up with the family business. And it's been now 7 years running. I've been here.
Okay, great. Well, the niche of House of Rohit has, of course, been experiential hospitality, do you believe? And
Absolutely.
why
Absolutely.
was that decision taken? And
So
also, how do travelers, respond to this?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So when our journey began in the early 90s,
Mhm.
tourism in India was in its infancy. It was not easy to convince travel agents and travelers
Mhm.
who are going through rural Rajasthan or Western Rajasthan to have them stay outside of a renowned chain brand or outside of a city where we are located in a village about 40 kilometers from the nearest city, which is Jodhpur.
Yeah.
There was very little to convince them with to have them stay in a rural setting as opposed to in the city, because those were not times where we had 10 million plus tourists coming to India. Early 90s, it was still in its infancy, and Rajasthan also was largely undiscovered.
Yeah.
The Golden Triangle was basically just starting out.
Mhm.
And at that time, my father essentially pioneered what then became our USP and still is an experience we call the village safari. It was an insight into what life is like in rural Rajasthan.
Mhm.
So the idea was to take travelers from different parts of the world, different walks of life, and take them to interact firsthand with the people of this region, show them a little more about the culture, the communities, some of the traditions, some of the customs of the region, and give them a better understanding of the way of life of Western Rajasthan. And that was something that was very special, especially to Western travelers who were coming to India for the first time and had never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And it became very often the best part of their trip because it's the only opportunity they got to interact with someone outside of the hospitality bubble, to interact with someone who was not serving them something or checking them into a hotel or taking them through a monument. It was just pure interaction for educational purposes. And they got to see that India is not only about what they see in the movies or what they see in the news. There's a lot more nuance to society in India. And that really became our USP, and that is what attracted people to come and stay with us. And that is something we built on.
Yeah. But how have you adapted then? Because we've seen foreign travel, come to a complete standstill over the last year and a half. So what have been your COVID lessons, and how did you reinvent, Avijit, given the new normal that we're living in?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's been challenging, to say the least. We were very comfortable in the niche we were in, dealing with 95% travelers coming from outside India, staying at all our properties. And suddenly 95% of your business evaporates. You need to do some serious rethinking on the way you approach, the way you do business. But it's been a great learning experience. And the silver lining of COVID really has been that Indians have rediscovered India. So I would say the Indian traveler is now very travel literate, very travel savvy.
Yeah.
is discerning more than most inbound international travelers, and demands the best, really. So it has been a great experience to reintroduce India and Western Rajasthan to the Indian traveler.
Okay.
And we have successfully done so, I would happily say. And we are getting a lot of interest from travelers within India, from the metro cities,
Great.
who want to come and experience rural Rajasthan.
Okay. Well, keep it up, and thank you so much for joining us today on NewsX. Wishing you and the group all the very best.
Thank you so much, Uday. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for having me on.
And our final guest for the day is actor Rinzing Dengzongpa. He recently made his Bollywood debut with Squad on ZEE5. He's actor Danny Dengzongpa's son. Listen into this conversation.
Known for his acting performances,
I myself love action movies. I love action comedies, action thrillers. So it's one of those genres that I'm happy, that is my first movie.
he recently made his Bollywood debut with Squad.
I just wanted to do what Dad was doing, because I want to do what I'd see him grow. Like as I was growing up, he'd always be on sets. I'd go to visit him on set.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Rinzing Dengzongpa for excellence in entertainment.
Hello, welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX A-List. We're in conversation today with actor Rinzing Dengzongpa. He's all set to make his debut in the film industry with Squad. We're going to be watching it very soon on ZEE5. Rinzing, welcome to NewsX. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let me begin by just talking to you about how you backed Squad, how this journey started of yours in the film industry.
It was all Nilesh. We, I think around 2018, we had met. He had called me for a meeting. I didn't know what it was about. I knew it was going to be an action movie. That's about it. But yeah, after having a conversation with him, I realized that his knowledge of action is pretty damn good. So I had full trust in whatever, he had coming. He narrated the script to me, the story, and I'd also liked that. So it was just full steam ahead from there.
Yes, and and also, the kind of stunts you're doing, the action you're carrying out in the film, how was that for you? And did you have to prepare a fair bit for it?
It was fun, yeah, of course. We had our team from Poland and China come down to India for a few weeks. So that was nice to have them train and do the fight choreography with me. But it also made that easier, like when we reached Belarus to shoot. So we had another 5 days of training, but those 5 days were just to recoup and, remember all the moves that we had already practiced. So it was amazing. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Okay. Did it have to be an action film, for you to make your debut with? Were you pretty sure of that? Because it's your debut. So, you've got to tick all the right boxes. This is the first time that audiences will see you, on, of course, the big screen and the small screen, of course, to ZEE5. So it had to be something special. Did you feel that this ticked off the boxes, and did you want to do action in your first film?
Of course. I myself love action movies. I love action comedies, action thrillers. So it's one of those genres that I'm happy, that is my first movie.
Okay.
Have you seen the trailer, by the way?
I did. I watched it, and it looked super. It looked super. You look like you were born to do action. The way you're carrying it out. So looking forward to, of course, watching it in its entirety. But I have to ask you then, Rinzing, because this is your first project. So I have to ask you these few questions. That is this something you always wanted to do? When did you decide that you wanted to be an actor?
I decided when I was quite young, actually. I just wanted to do what Dad was doing, because I want to do what I'd see him grow. Like as I was growing up, he'd always be on sets. I'd go to visit him on sets. So since I was young, I just wanted to do what Dad does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any advice that he gave you when you told him that, okay, I'm becoming an actor. Finally, this is happening. I'm going to be working on my first project. What advice did he give you? What advice did Danny give you?
I actually told him only after I was just about to sign with Nilesh. Otherwise, he didn't know anything about Squad and Nilo and me meeting Nilesh, for example. I used to do everything basically on my own.
Yeah.
It was easier. It's just like a nice surprise. But he called me today morning. He said he's very proud of me. So
Okay,
it's good.
great. We've of course seen him on screen as a villain in a number of films. He's been a very successful villain, of course. When you watched his films when you were much younger, were you scared of him? Looking at the image that he had on screen, and then in
Of
real
course.
life.
Of course not. He's dad in the end. So, but it's hilarious because many other people were afraid. Like, for example, adults, like, when I was young,
Yeah.
see him and like friends of friends would say, "Oh God, it's him." Back in the day, for example, you'd see my dad or Goli uncle, Ranjit uncle. So you'd see him on the street and it'd be funny. Like people just scream because they say, "Oh God, it's him," from the movies.
Yeah, exactly. So which is any favorite film of yours of Danny Deng Xiangpa? He's done so many films. Which
For
is your
my
favorite?
dad's, there's quite a few, but whenever it's on TV, Ghatak.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ones I like.
Yeah.
And Khuda Gawah
Okay.
also. In more recent times, I like Baby.
Mhm.
It's good to see him with Akshay sir.
Yeah, true. And just, speaking, of course, about fitness as well, I think that's something also that, you've taken up not just for the movies, but you've been fit for a very long time. Was that also something that came naturally to you? Sport, fitness?
Well, I think I started training properly when I was around 16 or 17.
Okay.
Tiger and I started going to the gym together.
Mhm.
But I always love fitness,
Mhm.
but it all depends on how clear my head is.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm not in the mood, then I have to go to the gym and listen to a little aggressive music and just lift heavy weights. That's my therapy.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And just talking, of course, about action. Now, as you said, you've always enjoyed watching action movies. Any particular favorite action star of yours, who you've idolized or looked up to while growing up?
I mean, depends. There's too many. There's too many to name. Like all the action stars, all of them. Depends on which Hollywood, Bollywood, where.
Both, either.
Well, growing up for action, I used to watch Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan. It was more for action. It's more those kung fu Chinese movies than those classic Rambos and all. So always definitely inspired by them.
Okay. And going forward now, is this a genre you want to explore a fair bit? Of course, we've seen Tiger Shroff do some great action, as you were just mentioning. He's your friend. We've seen, of course, Vidyut Jamal, in this genre excel. We've also seen Hrithik Roshan, many others, of course, from the industry excel in the action genre. Is this a genre? Yeah.
John sir as well.
Absolutely. John Abraham has done some great action. Absolutely. Do you want to explore this genre a fair deal, or do you want to explore other genres, or do you believe action perhaps is going to be your forte?
I'd prefer action in general. Action comedy, action thriller. It's something that I myself would enjoy, being on set.
Yeah.
I like learning the choreography, the fight choreography, and getting those bruises and all. It's always a good experience. So I don't know about those. I don't know about the lovey-dovey movies and all that. I don't know. Let's see. You can never say never.
True.
But for now, just action.
Okay, action is what you want to do. Okay, final question then, Rinzing, what's going through your mind? You've done the project now. The trailer, of course, is already being appreciated. I enjoyed it, as I told you earlier. What's happening inside you? Goosebumps? What's the feeling like? Excitement, nervousness?
It's very surreal right now. I think the trailer is going to be launching in 1 hour and 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I just can't wait for everybody to see it. Like, I'm excited. Nervous, more excited than nervous right now.
Okay, great. Well, wishing you all the very best. It's your debut, so it's always going to be special for you. But let's certainly hope for many more projects for you in the future too. Thank you so much, Rinzing, for joining us.
Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.